couple months ago, I made a video about this OBS alternative called Meld. It's basically OBS, but with a way cleaner UI. And my conclusion in that video was, as cool as Meld is, it's just missing too many things right now for me to seriously consider switching over to it from OBS. I was also very confused how they're making any money right now, considering Meld is completely free, yet they have millions of dollars invested into it. Well, Meld saw that video and they wanted to set the record straight. So I set up an interview with the CEO, Joel Compiles, which is a sick last name because he's like a developer and his last name is Compiles. It's probably not his last name. If it is, it's probably pronounced like Compiles. Anyway, I just asked him straight up, and he revealed some things that Meld is working on that nobody else is doing right now. Not even OBS. I'll upload the full interview alongside this one if you just want to nerd out and watch videos about broadcasting software for 2 hours. But for this video, I'm just gonna cut through the fluff, and at the end, I'll tell you whether my opinions on Meld have changed now that I know this new information, or if I think it's just vaporware that you shouldn't bother with. Stop being cringe and paying full price for Windows with our sponsor, VIP SSD Keys. You can get a Windows 11 license for as low as $21. Just use my code NUTTY at checkout to get them for 30% off. And if you want to get them for a little bit cheaper, you can get a Windows 10 key for $15, and those can be updated to Windows 11 completely for free. You can pay using a secure payment method like PayPal. They'll send you an activation code immediately, and then you can put that in your Windows settings, and you're good to go. Check out VIP SSD Keys in the link down below. Let's get the most important question out of the way first that you probably want to know. Will Meld ever start charging money? It's a legitimate question. Meld is a real company with a pretty sizable investment behind it, so they have to make money somehow, and right now they're not making any because Meld is completely free to use. But we've seen this before. How many times have we seen companies that start out free, but then once they get people invested, bam, they start charging a monthly fee? So I just asked them that.
Yeah, so what people are concerned about is what I would call like the bait and switch method. That's an approach that I don't think would work. We're never going to take away things that are free. We're going to clearly communicate whenever we have something that's paid. It'll be clear from a distance. And we're not doing these things with bad intentions, right? We're not going to like box you out of anything or like prevent you from, doing anything, or any of these tactics that like companies do that people hate, right?
To be like super clear on monetization, like everything that's free right now is going to continue to be free, and you have no intentions of taking anything away and making it paid. That's
yeah. We're never going to rug pull. We're never going to take things away that are free, and it will be clear from a long distance like what we're going to charge for.
And look, that sounds nice and all, but I'm very familiar with CEO speak. That really doesn't answer the question, because what he said was everything Meld does now will be free, but what about future features? What are they going to add in the future that OBS doesn't already do for free? And which of those features are going to cost you money? This is where things get really interesting.
We're not competing with OBS. We're basically going to be competing with every piece of video software in this space, from DaVinci Resolve to Final Cut Pro to CapCut. We see a really, really big opportunity to combine capture and edit workflows into one tool. What we've been kind of working on all along is the ability to record everything as isolated and record all the events that happen on stream. Meaning, anytime you adjusted the audio fader, anytime you clicked transition, anytime you toggled something on or off, we'll record all these events with timestamps. Now at the end of your recording or your stream, you'll see it all on a timeline, and everything will be isolated recordings, even things that are off screen. So if you transition from scene A to scene B and your game was in the other scene and you weren't quite happy with the timing and you want to do a slightly different edit, then you'll be able to just bring it back. Even things that are off screen will be recorded.
So basically what they're planning on doing is adding a video editing component to Meld alongside the streaming functionality that already exists. The streaming component, which is all that Meld is right now, that part is going to remain free, but it's the video editing portion of Meld, which they haven't added yet, but when they add that in, that's going to be the part that's going to be paid. And I got to be honest, that sounds insane. Why would anyone use Meld's video editor when you can just download DaVinci Resolve for free, which is, by the way, what I use to edit all my YouTube videos, and it's awesome. I mean, it's one thing to compete with OBS, but now they're saying that they want to compete with DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut Pro. That's like saying, oh no, we're not trying to box Floyd Mayweather. We're just trying to fight Goku, like directly after Frieza killed Krillin, like that version of Goku, like the best version. Yeah, we're trying to fight that. But you know what? This might sound crazy. I actually see where they're going with this. One of the features I've always wanted in OBS for years is the ability to record your gameplay and camera at the same time. But imagine if you can record both your gameplay and your camera into a single video file, the same way you can record MP4 files that have multiple audio tracks. MP4 technically already supports multiple video tracks, but the thing is, there's no way to actually make those types of files in OBS, and even if you could, you can't actually import them into DaVinci Resolve anyway. So trust me, I've tried, it doesn't work.
So by the way, I've been comparing like the Vision to like an SVG, right? Or a PSD, right? It'll be the PSD for video. That's the big idea. Someone sends you a logo today and they send you a JPEG. You say, send me the PSD so I can edit it. You want to get all the layers and you want to be able to move things around and you want really the vectorized representation of what that is. Doesn't exist for video. Everything today, when you record video, you get the equivalent of a JPEG. It's flattened down. Everything that's layered is flattened down. That's what every piece of software gives you.
Apart from audio,
that will always be free. Like we're not going to charge you for that. But we think when you see what you can do in our editor, and when you experience this, you'll pay for it.
Honestly, this sounds super cool. Imagine streaming on Twitch like normal. Meanwhile, in the background, Meld is automatically grabbing a clean recording of your gameplay and your camera and your stream. And then at the end of your stream, you get to see a full timeline of everything that happened. Every time you switch scenes, every time you toggled on and off your camera. And if there's a moment where you want to grab your full face cam, it's already on the timeline. Or that example Joel used. Imagine something happened on your gameplay scene, but you forgot to change scenes because you're still in your just chatting screen. Well, you'd be able to just go back and retime your transitions in post because Meld would already have a clean recording of both your gameplay and your just chatting scenes. This is something that you just straight up can't do in OBS right now, and I actually think it's a super cool idea. I know it sounds like I'm being way more positive about Meld in this video compared to the last video, but this is different. They like paid me a lot of money and stuff, and like let me tell you, when they like opened up that briefcase, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like now I gotta backpedal and figure out how I can take back all those negative things I said about Meld. Yeah, a lot of you guys actually thought Meld was really paying off creators to say nice things about them.
Other creator person, but who I won't name because it always turns out bad when I mention other people's names. They were saying like he was clearly paid, blah blah blah. Do you want to just like clarify that?
No, he wasn't paid. Of course he wasn't paid. It's the same thing as with you.
So unless Joel straight up lied to my face, no, Meld didn't pay anyone off, including me. You guys need to chill. Like, stop trying to create drama when there's no drama. This isn't a Moist Critical video. Okay, just chill. Anyway, yeah, so this video editing component of Meld is gonna be the only part that's paid. The streaming component of Meld as it exists today is and always will be free. And yes, I did ask for a third time just to make sure. Even future features of the streaming component will remain free.
Are there any features specifically relevant to live streaming that would become paid?
No, we don't have any plans for it. Honestly, we never really had plans to do the widgets, and I mean, we thought it'd be an interesting way to try it out.
So if you're not interested in this mythical video editing component of Meld when that actually does come out, and you purely want to use Meld as a replacement for OBS, you'll always be able to do that. As far as how much the video editing component is going to cost, he didn't mention anything other than it will probably be a subscription model.
Would that be a subscription-based thing? Do you have any plans on that?
Most likely.
There's a whole lot more that we talked about in the full interview. Again, if you're a giant nerd for broadcasting software, go watch it. They basically worked with Caster Labs to build a whole backend, kind of like StreamerBot, except it's built into Meld. So you know how in StreamerBot can track every time you get a Twitch sub, every time a raid happens on Twitch, every time someone gives you a super chat on YouTube? Like, that whole backend is built into Meld. And you don't have to have anything running in the background. It's just built in, which is super neat. I just wanted this whole video to be about the overall vision for Meld because, number one, I just think it's a sick idea. Having your recording software also be your editing software and have that be a single workflow, that's like a legitimately innovative idea that could seriously cut down the amount of time that you spend editing. And two, this is my channel and I can do what I want. Now, don't get me wrong, as great as it is to fantasize how cool it would be to have a full video editor built into the same software that you use to stream with, number one, nobody's ever seen what any of this looks like. And we don't even know if this video editor is going to be any good. It's going to be really challenging for Meld to convince people to pay for yet another subscription when a perfectly good video editor like DaVinci Resolve already exists and doesn't cost anything. But the bigger concern I have is how hard is any of this going to be to run on your PC? Because I would imagine if you want to record multiple video tracks all at the same time while streaming, while playing your games, like, that can't be easy to run on your PC. I don't think this changes my recommendations much at all. I still think that if you are choosing between OBS Studio or Meld Studio, none of what we talked about today should affect your decision at all. This is all so far out in the future. We haven't seen this video editing component at all. And much like me, even if it does eventually come, it may not even be worth your time. Just try both, and if you like Meld, keep using Meld. If you like OBS, keep using OBS. If you like Streamlabs, keep using OBS. Statistically speaking, you're probably streaming to like less than 10 people anyway, and like literally none of them care about what streaming software you use. But I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic about Meld because I think what they're doing is cool. For some reason, the end of my script got cut off. It probably wasn't important for me to say whatever. Anyway. Thanks.